Okay, so a big announcement there by the Prime Minister, and Gaurav is also with me. Gaurav, about the huge, enormous success of Mission Shakti. He was talking about how India has successfully tested the anti-satellite weapon ASAT, becoming the fourth country to do so after the United States, China and Russia.
This is massive. This is massive. This is one of the biggest steps India's announced in terms of reaching the world stage. Remember, so far only the United States, Russia and China have displayed capabilities of taking down a low orbiting satellite. India entering that club, India successfully launching an anti-satellite missile and taking down a low orbiting satellite is a huge step. Of course, you know, the integrated defense staff in the armed forces headquarters, they've been talking about it. We've only heard that they've been talking about this capability, especially at a time when China announced this step. This means that if in case there is a hostile enemy satellite, in case India thinks that there is a threat to us from a hostile adversary satellite, that enemy satellite can be taken down in space. That's a huge step being announced.
Absolutely. No, I just want you to delve into the significance of the ASAT being able to... Hang on there, Gaurav, I'll just come to you. Nitin Gadkari presently is giving his reaction. Let's cut straight across and listen in.
ऐतिहासिक मिशन शक्ति को सफल बनाने के लिए भारतीय वैज्ञानिकों को बहुत बहुत बधाई और शुभकामनाएं। भारत तेजी से विश्वगुरु बनने के तरफ आगे बढ़ रहा है और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में विश्व में एक सुपर इकोनॉमिक पावर के साथ साथ एक सुपर वैज्ञानिक पावर के रूप में भी आगे जा रहा है। इसकी बहुत खुशी है। फिर से एक बार सभी वैज्ञानिकों का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन और शुभेच्छाएं।
Nitin Gadkari there congratulating the government for this mission, for the successful mission. But, you know, Gaurav, coming to you, I want you to delve into the significance of the ASAT, the anti-satellite, successfully targeting a live satellite on a low Earth orbit. If you could just break this down for you and the significance it has for India and defending our nation as well.
So what will future warfare look like? There's an enemy satellite, you know, that can either mess with your signals, that can either jam your signals, or it can keep an eye on what you are doing, or you want to take out, you know, your army wants to take out a hostile enemy satellite in space. How do you do that? India, according to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and that's a big announcement he's made, that just, you know, 3 minutes before that announcement that was made, India successfully took down a low orbiting satellite. So far, only the United States, Russia and China had this kind of capabilities. True. India is now only the fourth country in the entire world to have this capability that it can take down a hostile satellite in space. This is the future of warfare. Now, the moment China had done this, you know, India knew we would be sucked into this sooner than later. These capabilities were being discussed. These capabilities were being talked about. But the fact that it was secretly brought to that level that you can take it and it's happened is massive.
Absolutely. Ajay Lele, who's a space scientist, also joining on this incredible accomplishment by the Indian scientists. And in fact, Mr. Lele, the Prime Minister, taking this opportunity to congratulate all of the scientists involved in this successful mission. Your thoughts on the anti-satellite weapon ASAT successfully targeting a live satellite on a low Earth orbit?
I think this is a very important achievement as far as India's military space program is concerned. Because for all these years, India has made significant amount of investments into the civilian domain of a space program. And there was a need, particularly after China had done a successful anti-satellite test in the year 2007, for India to demonstrate the capability.
Okay.
However, when China had done this test, they have created a lot amount of a debris because they had conducted this test almost 750 kilometers above the Earth's surface. To my mind, India must have done the test at a very low altitude. So all the debris will re-enter into the Earth's atmosphere and it will get melted down.
So if you could just tell me, why is it so important, Mission Shakti, why is it so important for India's military space program? Because even the Prime Minister emphasized on how this is a very, very important step. It's a milestone to safeguard the nation's security as well.
You see, as far as Mission Shakti is concerned, it may not be correct to do a direct comparison, but it's basically a deterrence mechanism.
Okay.
The way India has done a nuclear test. So it is something akin to a nuclear test. But more importantly, what one should understand that these are the tests which are only done from a point of view of telling your enemy or adversary that yes, we also have got these types of capabilities and we are a developed world into the domain of a satellite.
Absolutely.
Professor Lele, if I may,
perspective.
Professor Lele, you know, the world is very apprehensive about debris in space. When China did it, you know, there was a lot of commentary, and India, of course, is a part of that body that wants to restrict debris in space. So are we looking at how will the world react to this? Will they appreciate it? Will there be some kind of restriction in terms of new technologies coming into India? Or are we too strong? We don't want, you know, we're not concerned about that.
No, one has to really look at it from a perspective that, to my mind, to best of my understanding, India would not do a test where India will end up creating a lot amount of a debris. So just to make it in a simpler fashion, as you go up into the atmosphere, the gravitational pull is very less. So when you do an anti-satellite test, which China did at a height of around 700 to 800 kilometers, you end up creating a lot amount of a debris, and because there is no gravity, the debris remain over there. What India must have done, since Prime Minister said into a low Earth orbit, India must have done a test somewhere around 100 kilometers to 200 kilometers. I'm just speculating it.
Yes.
And that also would have created a debris. But because of the gravitational pull, and as you enter the Earth's atmosphere, the temperatures soar to very high degree. That means around 2000 to 3000 degrees Celsius. If you recollect the sad demise of Kalpana Chawla also, because of her spacecraft re-entered into the Earth's atmosphere, and the thermal shield had not worked. That's why everything got burned. So the similar type of a thing which happens with the debris also. So to my mind, India must have created a test at a lower altitude, and all the debris sooner than later will re-enter the Earth's atmosphere and it will get melted away. So as far as the rest of the world is concerned, India has only demonstrated a capability, but India has not made a space polluted the way China has done it, and which is now going to create problems for a lot amount of countries or for a lot other satellites also, because one is not sure which debris will hit which satellite.
Absolutely. And you know, Gaurav, interestingly, the Prime Minister stressing that this massive achievement that has been accomplished has been done by not even violating any international laws. This has been purely done for India's security, something that has been acknowledged by the countries across the globe. 48 nations, in fact, had backed India as far as its steps were concerned in launching those airstrikes on Balakot in Pakistan. So a very strong endorsement there from all of the countries in India's favor and protecting its own turf.
Absolutely, and look at the message that goes out. India is now a country that's in that elite club. United States, Russia, China and India. Only 4 countries have the capability to take down a satellite. This was done in low orbit. From what I'm hearing from sources in the government, our capabilities are much more. This was just a demonstrator, and this demonstrator sends out a big message. Considering the fact that India's launched satellites, considering the fact that we have missiles that can go up to longer distances, so you're just tweaking technology in a way that you send out another technology demonstrator in terms of sending out a message to your adversaries that should you try anything using your satellites, India has the capability. So as you know, Professor Ajay Lele was also telling us, India now is just displaying its capabilities that should the need arise, India can take down a satellite in space.
Well, undoubtedly, it's a historic feat achieved, Gaurav. How does this secure India? If you could just sum it up and break it down for us by Mission Shakti, what has India achieved today?
What is the future of warfare? The future of warfare is not 100,000 soldiers crossing the line of control or the international border or the line of actual control and occupying territory. The next warfare is the use of space-based assets, satellites being used, you know, to take down a country's, for example, communication system or any other system, using satellites, GPS devices to get your systems to go awry. When you know that the enemy is using his satellite to disrupt, to cause massive disruption in your country, you can then take out that satellite. So far, we did not have the capability. When China did this in 2007, that's the time, the security establishment talked about the need of India having the capability. Whether you use it or not, you need to have that capability. So from 2007 onwards, in fact, even before that, they were working on it. But ever since, they got into it in a much bigger way. And it's only in 2019 when they got clearance to test it. They've tested it and taken out a satellite. So, for example, if there's an enemy satellite which is hovering over us and we do not want it in our skies for whatever reason, whether it's disrupting our communications, whether it's disrupting other signals, whether it's mapping something in our country, whether it's keeping an eye on us, and you want to take out that satellite, now India has the capabilities to take out that satellite.
And space warfare is perhaps then it's inevitable, isn't it, in the present scenario, and the Prime Minister and the government having the foresight of securing its own space as far as this is concerned. He also says, and it serves a lot of purposes, right? It's not just for military purposes, Gaurav. The Prime Minister also saying how Mission Shakti will also help in technological advancement as well. It also helps the people of this country as well. So it's multifaceted as well, Mission Shakti, which has been successfully achieved by the scientists.
It indeed is. This is a big, big step. Now, India, in our civilian space program, we've done exceptionally well. The world recognizes how good the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, is. And India, after conducting our nuclear tests in 1998, we had a very clear distinction between our military space program and our civilian space program and our missile programs. So, there was a very clear demarcation. Now, militarization there is a very, very significant step. I mean, this puts India in altogether a different league, Avantika.
Absolutely, certainly. And it's a big moment. It's a historic step for Indian space technology. We're going to leave it at that. I'm slipping into a short break. We will come back. We will talk about the story. India getting its very own space weapon, entering the elite club and also registering itself as a superpower after the United States, Russia and China. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.